And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Loop Incorporated. Now, this is a game about time travel. You are an organization that's taking people back on trips to see different things, and of course you don't want to mess up the space-time continuum. Now, I'm always very wary of time travel games because with the exception of Time Stories, I haven't ever seen the theme really come to life in one of these games. So I'm skeptical, but at the same time I'm going, okay, forget the time travel thing, because time travel is really hard to do in a game. It's hard to do in any kind of medium, but it's especially seemingly hard to do in a game. So I'm going in to see, is the game good or not, right? If the time travel theme works, well, that's a bonus. Well, let's find out. So the game takes place over 3 days. Each day you're going to be sending out time machines. On the first day you're only going to send out one time machine from day one, and then the next day you'll be sending out that exact same time machine again along with another time machine, and then by day 3 you will have 3 different time machines that you will send out. So the 3 different time machines are here. Now you're going to be building these time machines. There's different parts that can be put on the time machines, and you're going to want to do that because you're going to be visiting different times in history. So at the beginning of the game you're going to be building a timeline of random cards. So here maybe you want to explore with Eric the Red. To do that your time machine needs a net, a telescope, and a propeller. Or maybe you want to train with the samurai. You just need a weapon and a wheel to do that. When you send out your time machine to one of these spots, you're going to get a certain number of points. So this one here will give you 5 points. This is the whole kind of point of the game, is to send out your time machines. However, when you're sending out multiple time machines, you can only send one out to a later time frame than you've gone earlier. And the earlier ones are going to be worth more points. As you come down, you can see some of these are worth 8 or 9 points, but they also require a whole lot more parts. So on a day, day 1, you have 3 actions. Each action is going to be taking a card here from the table and playing it in front of you. These 3 cards are pretty simple. You take them and put the corresponding part on your time machine. Now, if for some reason the part is not there when you take one of those cards, then you have to take one of these here, a tear in the time fabric continuity. Having one of these is worth -1 point, 2 of them -3, 3 -6, and 4, you're out of the game. So you really don't want to take these if at all possible. You can also take an advertising token, which you can put one of your advertising tokens on a spot, and that spot is reserved for you. Somebody else can go there, but they'll get a tear token. And only one person can go to each area for free. The second person to go to one of these spots will get a tear too, and only 2 people can go there total. This will let you switch one of your components from one of your time machines and take another one. This will let you trash one of your components on a machine, and this will let you move one from one machine to the other. Of course, the rules are that you can never add or do anything to a time machine that's already been sent out. So on your turn, you can take a card, or you must take a card and do its action, and then you may optionally launch your time machine and send it out to the different spot. If you send your time machine out to a spot and it has more stuff than you need, let's say for example you sent it to that train with samurai and you had 2 wheels and a weapon, the extra wheel would be removed and put here under penalties. You flip it over to show that it's worth -1 point. So players are going to be taking turns doing this. Now, when day 1 is over, let's say I just added 3 different things to my ship, and this is the order I played the cards. I then put these cards in my hand. On day 2, I need to play 6 cards. 3 of them will be new ones, and 3 must be cards from my hand played in this order. So I have to play this one maybe, then I'll play a move card, and then I'll play shop, and then I'll play this, and then I'll play 2 more cards, maybe an exchange and an advertisement. Then I'll take all those cards and keep them in the order that they were played, and now I have 6 cards for day 3, and I'll be taking 3 more. Now there are some anomaly cards that exist. A few of these will be out on the table. These are special one-time cards. They do all sorts of things, maybe get rid of an ad, get rid of a component from the game, launch a time machine, it doesn't lose any components from waste, do nothing this turn. So there's these different cards. And at the end of the, oh, by the way, sending out an advertisement, also gets you a bonus point. And at the end of the game, after 3 rounds, you're going to have points from the trips that you've gone on, from ads, and you'll lose points from your terror tokens and from wasted components, and whoever has the most points is the winner. I think the first thing I need to say about this game is how heady this game is. This game is extremely thinky, because when you take a card on the first turn, you are essentially committing yourself to playing that card 3 times. When you take a card in the second turn, you're essentially playing it twice, and then the third turn, who cares? But you have to sit there and think, okay, I'm going to play this card now. Not only am I playing this card now, but I'm going to be playing this card, the first of these 3 cards, on turns 2 and 3. And I found that turn 2 in this game is the thinkiest of all of them, because you have those initial 3 cards. Your initial 3 cards are likely going to be put stuff on your ship, right? Because you want to send it out to get things, and your ships are bare at the beginning getting the things. But as in turn 2, then you're like, okay, I already am going to get one of these weapons. So should I play that now before they're gone? Because there's only one of those out there each turn. Each turn you add more each day, but there's 1 per number of players, which isn't a ton of them, especially if I need 2. Then it means one of the other players isn't going to get one that turn. And I don't want to add extra stuff to my time machines, and I have 3 different time machines. I also have to think about moving earlier in time. I can go back and do this big one, but if I wait too long to do it, some of those shorter, easier trips that are not so far back in time will be taken up by other players. Wow, I'm telling you, this is a game that kind of devolves into silence as you're sitting there going, what am I going to do next? And there's really a lot of that going on. It's kind of a hand-building game, but not a very big hand-building game, just a few small cards. Now, I like the artwork. I like it's very cartoony and silly, and that's fun. I like the way that the pieces actually fit on your time machine. So you have wheels on the bottom, propellers on the top, weapons sticking out the side. That's a small detail, but it does work well. And I like that the anomaly cards will change things up. I do kind of wish maybe there was 30 of the anomaly cards so that there'd be more variety in what they are from game to game. But even the one, for example, the do nothing anomaly card, you're like, ooh, I could use that. I could do nothing here now, because that's better than taking a tear in the time space continuity. Now, those tear tokens are dangerous. 4 of them will take you out of the game. I haven't seen it happen. I haven't even seen someone get 3 of them. I've seen 2 though, for sure, and you have to be very cautious. And it's the fear of them being there, the fear of them possibly taking you out of the game, that makes you play the game in a very specific way. It's like, okay, I can do this, but I got to be really cautious. And there's not a lot of points to go around in this game, so I don't really have time to give up any free points if at all possible. I like the game. I thought it was interesting. I think the time factor of the game works. I mean, it's not a very strong theme, but it does work in this thing. You're going back, and we're going to do it again. And once you go on a trip, you can't go on that particular trip again because your time machine from day 1 is there. So you're going to have to, when you're making each trip, say, okay, I need these components for that trip, but what other spot on the board will also use those same components, maybe 1 different or 1 more? And that thinking this ahead, this is not a very long game. The box here says 20 to 40 minutes. 20 minutes is not happening. I don't know where they got that from. 40 minutes is much more likely, but it is an intense 40 minutes. It's a 40 minutes where you're sitting there going, ooh, what do I do next? So I give it points for that. I give it points for being unique and interesting. This isn't your typical run-of-the-mill game. I've not played a game like this before where my past turns will affect my present turn and my future turn. And that brings the time part of this game more to life than anything else. And for that, I'll give it a success, and one that I recommend Loop Incorporated. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Excuse me, old chap. Would you shut the door, please?
Do.